Oh, hey guys, welcome back to school. 2020-21. Let's get to work. What's up, guys? It's me, Mr. C, the place to be, Irwin Academy. It's time for some advanced stuff. For those of you that still have your instrument, you're not gonna like this too much. I did a video about this last school year, right when we went online, and it scales, as you can see right behind me. Sorry guys, but you know what? Like I've told you before, I want you guys to be the best possible, better than everyone else, better than all the rest. And sometimes we're gonna have to do some stuff in music that's not too exciting. But these scales are very important. There's a whole bunch of benefits that scales will bring to you as a musician. One of them is being able to read any key signature. If you can identify the flats or sharps at the beginning of a piece, you can easily tell what key the song is in. Like I've said before, every song has a key. Every single song out there. Doesn't matter what type of music you listen to. Every song has a certain key. And that just kind of follows with how the song is gonna blend. Not necessarily the rules, just how a song is gonna work. As you can see, I have 4 different scales behind me. Now, every instrument can play scales. Doesn't matter what it is. Drums have, and percussion have rudiments. Kind of like scales, kind of not. All right? So, those of you that have your instrument, you could start playing these. And you should really work at these because it's gonna help open up new notes for you. It's gonna help open up not just new notes, but also a range, maybe a higher range or a lower range. What that means is higher notes or lower notes. If you think about, if you listen to a rock and roll song or an old R&B song from the 60s, 50s, 70s, around that area, anytime a musician usually does a solo, their choice of pitch is usually a high note because high notes usually sound more pleasing to the ear compared to low notes. Yeah, there's some low notes that sound really cool and some people will use those as a solo. Don't get me wrong, it's not always gonna be high notes are the way to go. No. But usually, when people are gonna bust out a cool solo, it's high notes. So, maybe there'll be a time where you have to do a solo. What kind of notes are you gonna choose? Because there's no wrong way to go about it when it comes to a solo. All right? So, what else can scales do for you? Well, music in general is universal. Music notes. So, if you recognize that one sharp in a key signature means F sharp, if you know that this is the key of G, well, that goes with everything. If you're a saxophone player and you decide to go to trumpet, guess what? It's still gonna be the same, okay? And that just tells you what notes to play. If you're gonna play a flute for 15 years and then you're gonna decide to go play bass guitar, a whole different clef sign, still works, okay? Now, and it doesn't have to just apply to music notes. If you decide that you really love guitar and rocking out and having fun, and you never learn how to read music notes ever again, it's not important to you, so you don't remember it, you don't retain it, and you just go to jam with your friends in a garage band, playing, rock music or whatever, this is still important to know. Because if you and your friends are writing a new song, and if you know the chord progression, which we'll talk about later, or if they say, oh yeah, this song, I want you to do a solo, it's in the key of G. Guess what? You might not need these notes, but you do need to know that there is one sharp in that key, and you need to know what the name of that sharp is. So this will take you many places. Understanding scales, understanding key signatures, and how scales work, okay? Depending on how you use this later on down the line, that's up to you. But this is very important information to know. Do I read music all the time? Depends on what I'm playing. If I'm playing guitar, I don't read music. If I'm playing my saxophone, I do read music. Okay? So, how can this benefit you? Well, let's just get started with the scale. And some of you already know this. Some of you were kicking booty on scales for a long time. And I'm proud of you. But you still got to practice it. Because this will always be a challenge for you. Not quarter notes, but if this is easy, it's time to take it to the next level and make it another challenge. Play it faster, okay? So, right here, we have the bass clef symbol. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. Sorry, I'm gonna be doing a lot of work in this spot, and because I have access to the board and other stuff. So, right here, we have the bass clef symbol. Okay, for those of you that want to learn bass instruments like bass guitar and trombone and baritone horn and sousaphone, I think that's all we have. Well, this is for you right here at the top. Okay, all your music is going to be with that symbol, the bass clef symbol. For everyone else, I did not write the clef just because I didn't. All right, right here we have a C, a B flat. If you know me by now, you know my handwriting is terrible. And we have an E flat. What does that mean? Well, the reason I wrote these notes right here, if you don't know, some of you already do, which is great, okay, is if your instrument is in this key, you want to play this scale. If your instrument is in this key, you want to play this scale. If your instrument is this key, get it? You play this scale, okay? You don't want to be in this key and play this scale, because if you were to play it with friends online, it's going to sound completely different. Every instrument is in a certain key. Now, a lot of them are the same. Some are different, though, okay? Excuse me. Some instruments are in the key of E flat, like an alto saxophone, like a baritone saxophone, and an alto clarinet are just some examples of instruments in an E flat, instruments in the key of E flat. B flat instruments are a little more common than E flat. Instruments in B flat are trumpet, clarinet, baritone horn treble clef side, bass clarinet, tenor saxophone, soprano saxophone, and there's a lot more too, okay? Instruments that are in the key of C, my favorite key, are the flute, the guitar, the piano, the trombone, the baritone horn, I believe, on the bass clef side, and some other lower bass instruments. Some tubas are in B flat. I think there's a tuba that's B double flat, and some are in the key of C. I don't want to confuse y'all, so don't worry about that, okay? So, if you still have your instrument, and you are now a 6th grader or a 5th grader, you can get to work on these. It doesn't matter what instrument you play. If you're a guitar, you need to be checking this out. But Mr. C, I don't know how to read notes yet. Don't worry about that, okay? When you understand how to read music notes, because there is gonna be instruction on this, I promise you, okay? Come back to this video and learn the scale. And actually, unfortunately for guitars, scales are a lot easier to learn than anything else, okay? Guitar is the easiest to learn scales. Piano is probably the 2nd easiest. And then all the other wind instruments kind of out of luck. You got to figure it out on your own, but you know, that's what I'm for, right? So, flutes, guitars, you have in this scale, your C scale, your B flat scale, your concert B flat major scale. All of you will hear that if you keep doing band. Concert B flat scale. If a conductor, you know, the dude that stands up on the podium and waves his hands, usually me, if you're ever instructed to play a concert B flat major scale, this is a scale that you're going to be using, okay? Depending on what instrument you're playing. This is what you're going to be using, all right? They mean this scale. If you're a saxophone, they mean the G scale. If you're a trumpet or clarinet, they mean the C scale. If you're a flute or trombone, they mean the B flat scale. Does that make sense? I hope so, okay? Because C is the perfect key, they will always use that as concert pitch, okay? All right, so key signature. You always got to check key signature before you play something new, okay? I am guilty of still making the mistake of playing a wrong note when I should have checked the key signature on music that I've been playing for a month, okay? I'll just forget, it happens. But that's why the key signature is at the beginning of every new line, okay? It's just there to remind you. And sometimes I'll be playing, right? And I know, I'll see that, okay, I know there's that note coming out, that note coming next. And it's an accidental note, it's a sharp. Let me check my key signature. Okay, yeah, I need to play that one. And you can do that so quick once you know what that means, okay? You will never see these sharps or flats in a different spot. What I mean by that is when you have one, the first one will always be there, okay? Can you see it? Yeah, I can see it, okay? There will never be one flat right there and nothing there. This one will always be there first. The sharp will always be there first, okay? And it'll always build on it. So next will be another sharp and it'll be right there. And then another sharp will be up here. And then another sharp will be right here. Like there's a certain spot and there's a certain order or a certain pattern that it always follows. And for those of you who are paying attention last year when we were here in class, it's called the circle of fifths, okay? Fat cats go down alleys eating beans. Oh, remember that one? For sharps. And then backwards, BEADGCF, is for flats, okay? All right, anyways, check that key signature. You gotta know your accidentals, meaning your sharp, flat, or natural sign for whatever you're gonna play, all right? And I know for a couple of you, for a good handful of you out there, this is nothing new to you. I'm sorry, but it's always good to refresh and review, all right? There might be something I'm saying that you didn't know, okay? So, always check that key signature, okay? If you got one sharp, it is always gonna be an F sharp, always. So this note right here, and this note right here will both be sharp, not hashtag. Can you see that? It needs to be darker. Cool. These notes, they will not be hashtag, they will be sharp. Sharp was before a hashtag. Sharp was even before a pound sign, which is something from back in my day, okay? Because that key signature right here has that sharp sign at the beginning, that means every note on that line, which is F, will be sharp. Sorry, I came out of the picture for a little bit, okay? Let's take a look at the B flat scale. The B flat, yeah. Let's take a look at the C scale for B flat instruments. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and backwards. There's no sharps or flats. I didn't forget. That scale is a C scale. Can everybody play the scale? Yes. You can actually play all three of these right here. Okay, you can't play that one if you're a treble clef instrument, if you're a flute, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet. You can't play that one because it's a bass clef. Technically, this is the same scale as this one, so it doesn't really matter anyways, okay? Yes, you can play all three of these scales, but if we were to play it as a group, you would want to play your scale in your key because it would sound the same. Does that make sense? Hope so. Okay, there's no flats, there's no sharps. It's a C scale. C scales do not have flats or sharps. Here's an example. See that piano? There's a C. Okay, these black keys right here all represent a flat or a sharp. It just depends on which direction you're going. Okay, if it's sharp, well then you're going to be going in the up direction. If you're going backwards, it will be flat. Okay, C scale is just like this. It's all white keys. Again, I'll do it louder. There you go. That's a C scale. Okay? If we're playing this G scale, we have the one sharp. Okay? F sharp. I'm not going to play that F. I'm going to play that F. There's my F sharp right there. And it'll sound like this. Okay? If you're thinking that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do stuff, that's exactly right. The only difference with scales is you're going to start on a different pitch. Instead of always being do, then the next one is going to be do, re, mi, fa, sol, and so on and so on and so on, okay? All right, finally, the B flat scale for my C instruments right here at the top. We have two flats because this flat is on that line. Every note on this line is going to be flat. Look at it, it's the first one. That's a B, so this is a B flat. Any other ones? Oh, look, right there. That's another B flat. Okay, what about this one? Okay, every note on between those two lines, because remember, when it comes to reading notes, you have to know if my head is a music note, if it's sitting between the lines, or if it has a line through it. That's the difference. Sometimes they look very similar and you gotta watch out for that. That's where a lot of people get confused, okay? They see it in the right spot and they're very close, but they're not paying attention to whether the note has a line through it or if it's sitting between the lines, okay? So, that flat means every note between these two lines is gonna be flat. There's one right there, E flat. There's another one right there, E flat. So this scale has two flats, okay? Throughout the whole song, B flat and E flat. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and backwards, okay? And I know I didn't do the E flat one, I'll do that right now. So come back to this G scale. Why do I keep saying G scale, E flat, and stuff like that? I'm saying G scale because this note starts on a G, okay? All right. Altogether, this is a concert B flat major scale. Why? Thanks to the flutes. That's why. Okay? And we'll talk more about transposition and instrument keys later on down the line. All right? So, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. There you go. Okay? And then for my bass clef, same thing. Everything on this line is flat. Oh, for bass clef, the notes are different. The notes are different. This looks like a G, but it's actually not. Why? Because of the bass clef sign. That's why. Okay? There's like 5 different clefs, and you'll probably only ever see 3 of them. Most of you will probably only see 2 of them. Some of you might only see 1 clef your whole musical career. Doesn't matter. But you need to understand that when you see a bass clef symbol at the beginning of the music, that means the notes are no longer the same, that you recognize them anymore. And I struggle with this sometimes. Why? Because I've seen a G as a G for 20-something years. Okay? So this is not a G. That is the way. Okay? This is actually a B flat. Okay? If you want to get real technical as to why these notes are different, because right here, these 2 dots on that bass clef line, what that means is this is the F clef? It's the F clef. Every line right here between those 2 dots is an F. That's what that bass clef is telling you. That line between those 2 dots, every note on this line is an F. Okay, so you got F, E, D, C, B. There you go. And it's actually the piano people's fault. Anyways, so you got your B flat. Okay, these, remember I said before, these are the same. These are the same, different clef. Even the key signatures are the same, but they're starting on different notes technically. Technically they're not because of that clef sign, okay? B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and backwards. Cool? So, work on these scales. If you have an instrument, do this. I don't want to. I know. If you can do this already as quarter notes, then here's what I want you to do. Jelly bean. Play them as 8th notes. What does that mean for those of you that don't know? Play it faster. Okay, instead of going ta 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 ta, cut that in half and do faster. Ta 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 ta. If that's easy, guess what? Even faster. Ta 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 ta. Push yourself. And if you make a mistake practicing, you need to recognize your mistakes. Okay? Don't play something wrong and be like, yeah, I got it perfect. No, because that's not going to help you. You can say that all that you want, and you can tell other people that you did it. That's fine. that's what you want to do, that's cool. But it's not going to help you develop as a musician. It's not going to help you get any better. Recognize your mistakes. Don't get mad about them. They're so mad at me. No, because that's not going to help you either. Dang, I messed up. Let me go back and do it again. Sometimes when I'm playing a really difficult piece of music, I will play the most difficult part that I'm struggling with, that I'm messing up, or this part that looks really scary, just over and over and over and over. Yeah, it gets annoying, sure, but each time I'm doing it, I'm getting better at it, and I'm getting better at it, and eventually I'll be able to do it perfectly, okay? Repetition in music will help you to get better. So, practice and make it a challenge for yourself, okay? If these scales are easy for some of you advanced players already, great, play it faster. Try to do it more fluidly, okay? If one of your notes sounds sour or you're going da 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 da, oh yeah, go back and try it again. Make those notes clean, okay? Nowhere in these scales does it say play a wobbly note. Nowhere in these scales does it say sound like a duck or a goose, okay? So try your best to make these fluid, to make them sound good. Last thing you want to do is make your family mad playing nasty music because you're not caring about your tone, okay? And yes, it is very possible for you to have good tone as we're doing these online lessons. Just work at it. And we're going to talk more about how to improve your tone in a different time because I already got all that planned. All right, so I'm going to step away for a minute. And I'm going, actually no, I'm going to zoom in on these scales for you guys. And if you see a scale that you want to practice, take a screenshot, okay? Not sure how to do it on the Chromebook, but I know it's possible. If you have a phone or a tablet, or someone in the house has a phone or a tablet, ask them if you can just real quick take a picture of a scale. Excuse me, that way you can practice it. There are going to be more scales. This is, I'm telling you right now, this scale is going to be the easiest scale, okay? For your instrument. I am going to challenge you guys. I'm going to ask you to challenge yourselves. If you want to be the best, it takes hard work. All right, it's just something you got to learn. It doesn't matter what you do. If it's music, if it's Fortnite, if it's sports, whatever you want to do. If you want to be the best at something you want to do, it's going to take hard work. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to get upset about it. You're going to want to quit. But the people that are great don't quit. They push past that frustration. And if this was easy, everybody would do it. If playing a saxophone was easy, everybody would play saxophone. If playing drums is easy, everybody would play drums and not just hit the table in the cafeteria. I'm a drummer, I'm in drumline. Work at it. That's what separates the good musicians from the best musicians. The amount of work that you are willing to put into your practice time to make yourself even better. If you don't hear yourself getting better, I guarantee you I'll be able to tell the difference. Well, you're my teacher, you're supposed to be nice. If you think I'm supposed to be nice, you don't know me very well. Anyways, practice. Listen for yourself getting better. And don't practice forever, don't practice all day. 30 minutes, that's it. 30 minutes of practice time. Try to throw in the scales. If you don't want to play the scales, am I going to get mad at you? No. If you want to look up a video on YouTube and learn how to play a song for your instrument, is that still practice? Yes. Any type of playing on your instrument, any type of progressive playing on your instrument is practice. What I mean by that is, if you want to look up on YouTube how to play Let It Go on your flute, that's good practice. If you want to sit there on your flute and go, that's not practice, and it's not going to help you get better. It's just messing around. That's what I mean. So when it comes to scales, what do they sound like? How am I supposed to play them? Well, first up, I have a saxophone. Alto saxophone in particular, is in the key of E flat. So, trying to work backwards here. I'm going to be playing this scale for you. All right, and I'm going to erase these bars because I do not want to play 16th notes. We'll play regular quarter notes. Okay, so I'm going to send off to the side. Here's what we got. We have a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. And it sounds like this. don't know how to do one of these notes, what do? On our music website, there will be fingering charts available for every instrument. Check it out. Make sure you're using your school email address to log in, otherwise you can't see it. Go to the top of the right corner and you got a whole bunch of sheet music stuff for you, okay? And it'll help you learn any of these notes. For now, you should know this. 1, 2, 3 on the top is a G, no thumb. 1, 2 is A. First finger on the top is B. A D, you're gonna use a thumb key. 1, 2, 3 on top. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, that's your D. Pick up the last finger on the bottom is an E. F sharp is a middle finger on the bottom. 1, 2, 3 on top, middle finger on the bottom. High G is just like a low G with a thumb. Sounds like this. Now, if you sound like this, you're doing it right, but the quality of the tone is not there yet. It's too harsh, too harsh. Don't puff your cheeks. That's something that you just got to get used to. Don't puff your cheeks. When you puff your cheeks, you're putting way too much air into the instrument, and that's what's making it sound like it's your first day on the instrument. Relax. You don't need a lot of air to play. Anytime you're using this type of mouthpiece, clarinets, saxes, curl your bottom lip in a little bit. Just like this. Curl on lip. Your teeth sit on top. You're not biting the mouthpiece. They just rest on the top. Okay? Don't need a lot of air. You need enough air for a full, clean tone. Not a all right? Just cool. All right? So, when that's easy for you, take it faster. The 8th notes. Okay? And give yourself a speed to play to. That's a nice, easy tempo right there. And just take your quarter notes, one at a time. Keep on going. When that's easy for you, cut that time in half. Play it faster. Okay, and then keep it going though. Then go even faster. I had an extra note in there. My bad. It's just something I'm used to. Okay? Just take it faster and faster and faster, but shoot for perfection, shoot for cleanliness, shoot for precision every time. All right, and next up will be the flute. So now we're going to be playing, since the flute is in the key of C, just like the piano, our B flat scale. Once again, if you do not know these notes, check out our website. All right, B flat, thumb, first finger on the top, first finger on the bottom. Don't forget flutes, you need to skip the tiny key. First finger goes right there, you skip this key, okay? There should be one key with no finger on it between your first finger and your middle finger. You're not pushing this thumb key, you're pushing this bigger thumb key, not the teardrop looking one, this one, okay? All right, your B flat. Sorry, I was singing a different note. All right, you have B flat, not a B, B flat. C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and back down. So let's hear what it sounds like on the flute. Sorry, my mistakes. They happen. I don't care. I like making mistakes. Anyways, that's what it's gonna sound like. Once again, I'm not that great on flute, but if you sound like this, you're not doing it right. Find the sweet spot. There it is. I had to look for it. okay? And the more you do this, the quicker, it's just gonna come naturally, that spot that you need to find, okay? Take it off, put it back on. Take it off, back on. It's almost instant, but it just takes work and it takes practice. What have I always told you before? When you're watching TV and there's a commercial, just sit there on the couch or whatever. You're watching YouTube on your phone and there's an ad, because there's all the stupid ads on YouTube, and find the sweet spot. Take it off your mouth. Do it again. Remember, we're not kissing the mouthpiece. It's resting under our lip. Okay? See, look. The hole is touching the bottom part of my lip. And I'm not blowing down. That's me blowing down. I'm blowing straight at the screen. Actually, I'm kind of blowing at an angle. Okay? I'm not blowing straight. I'm not blowing straight down. I'm blowing at an angle. Okay? And you'll get a nice, strong tone. Put it back on your flute. Make sure you push in the correct thumb key. And go for it. There's your scale. All right, I'm gonna use my magical powers now, and I'm gonna change instruments to a trumpet, B flat. Same for clarinet. Right here. We have our C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There's no flats, there's no sharps for any B flat instruments, trumpets, clarinets, bass clarinet, tenor saxophone, baritone horn, okay? So we're gonna start on our C. And clarinets, if you have a clarinet at home, it's gonna sound the same. Obviously your clarinet is not gonna sound like a trumpet, but your C is gonna sound that low, okay? For clarinets, put the trumpet down for a second. A C is your circle thumb, 1, 2, 3 on top, okay? And don't worry, I'll magically make a clarinet appear too, and we'll work on the clarinet, because there are some high notes that a lot of my clarinets are not really struggling with, but they're kind of scared to go the upper range. Don't be scared for the upper range, okay? It's a really cool range to go on clarinet. So, for trumpet, B flat, you have your C. Now remember, with trumpet, we only have 3 valves. We don't have as many keys as a flute or a clarinet or as a saxophone, so we rely a lot on our embouchure, okay? The muscles in your mouth, the muscles on your face that change in order to increase the airflow into the trumpet and get the higher notes, okay? So, our C is gonna sound just like this. D, that one, okay? First finger, third finger. E, F. Now a G is exactly like a C, but we need to change that embouchure to a slightly higher pitch. C, G. Okay? So from the G, A, B natural, not B flat, high C. Okay? Something that you should all work on trumpet. If you want to get better, you have to develop your embouchure. Okay? So aside from just a scale, maybe instead of working on the scale, you want to work on playing the root and the fourth. 1, 2, 3. No, the fifth. The fifth step of the scale, and then the octave. The octave is the same note that you started on, but a higher pitch. Okay? Low C, high C. Cool? So, what I mean by root, fifth, and octave is this. No hands, but just change the pitch. Just work on that and make it clean. You might struggle going from C to G. You might struggle going from G to high C. Why is that important? Because after that, there are even higher notes that you're going to want to be able to reach, but you're not going to be able to unless you develop your embouchure. Okay? So you can go from G to C to high E. So that's why you want to start with your low C, the 5th step of the scale, which is your G, and then a high C. Work your way, da 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 da, and really clean it up. Okay? Make these notes sound good. Make them sound nice and clean. All right? All right. Did I do the scale? I did do the scale. I'll do it one more time. Okay, here's your C. We're right here. Trumpets and clarinets. And like I said, root, 5, octave. Sorry if you can't see. All right. So now let's look at the clarinet. I left my clarinet at home, so I will not be playing this instrument. Plus, I don't have a reed. So, your C clarinets, circle thumb. Always. Okay, 1, 2, 3. C, D, E, F is just the thumb. G is nothing. Your A, that key right there, there's your A. All right? Now, this is where a lot of clarinet players freak out, because now we're right here, the A, going to the B and the C. All right? Why do I say that a lot of clarinet players freak out? Because they don't like to go to these notes because they think they're too difficult. Let's go. Oh, there we go. All better. They're not. Once again, this comes down to embouchure. Believe it or not, saxophones, they don't really struggle with the higher end, you know, a beginner's higher end on the saxophone, because they kind of have to do those notes. In the beginning they do, but you don't realize it. Clarinets are usually sticking to, you know, the bottom range. You got your lower notes, you have your lower B right here, and you have your C, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna make sure we can do this scale right here, no problem. All right, so we are gonna go into the higher range. I need myself, as your teacher, I need to start pushing my clarinets to not so much be afraid of the higher range, because it's really cool. A clarinet can play higher and higher ranges. Like, it's really cool. So don't be afraid of the high range, okay? You cannot fight it. Your embouchure, the muscles on your face that go when you're playing your clarinet, they need to change when you go into the double thumb range. What I mean by that is your higher notes. Okay, your B and your C. Okay, this is your, where am I at? This is your B, and then your C. That's it. It's just a pinky difference. I'm gonna show you how to play it right now. But don't fight this note. When you play it, if it sounds like, okay, if it sounds like a crying baby Minecraft cow, you're doing it wrong. Okay, do not fight the high range. Just relax and let it come out naturally. Okay, it'll sound like da 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 da. It'll sound like that. It'll sound exactly like a deer. Where are we at? It'll sound like this. Should sound just like that, okay? Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound like that. Ba, that's your B right there, and then your high C, B, C, B, C. All right? Don't fight it. Relax, let the note come out a little bit higher than how it's supposed to sound. That's right, okay? So in order to play a high B, both thumbs. There's another way to play it. There's another way to play a high B flat. I'm not going to show you that. We want to play a regular B natural, a high one. Both thumbs, okay? If you ever play video games, sometimes you use one finger to push 2 buttons. It's the same idea that we're doing here. Your thumb stays right there on the circle, and then you're just gonna push the teardrop high key with the tip of your thumb, okay? One finger, two keys. Okay, you're still closing that one right there, okay? You're gonna push the 3 on the front, 1, 2, 3. Cover the holes. Remember, if you're not covering the holes all the way, it's gonna sound weird. You do not want that. I like to over cover the holes, okay? Instead of just covering it like that, I do too much and it works for me, okay? Both thumbs, 1, 2, 3 on the top, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. Now here's a tricky part, okay? This one, right? Yeah, this one. The frontmost bottom pinky key. See how I'm ignoring this one back here? The frontmost bottom pinky key. It only closes that guy. That's the one you want to close for this bottom pinky key. And then on the top, you want to close, not these ones that are going off to the side, the ones that are pointing up. The one that is pointing the highest, that one. Okay, why? Because that closes this bottom one right there. This is your B. There's your C. B, C. Okay, actually, I might be wrong. I wish I had my clarinet with me. Okay, this should be as B. No, there's your B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C. This is your B flat. This is your B flat. You don't want to do that B flat. So don't worry about this pinky. Okay? Okay? B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C. And then you come back down. It is a big jump, okay? Because you're going from this one key right here and no thumbs to all the keys quickly. Da 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 da. Nothing. A key on the front. B with both thumbs in the back. C, D. Okay. All right. Could be wrong. I need my clarinet. But don't worry. If I got the fingerings wrong, I'll go back and I'll say, hey guys, I got the fingerings wrong for clarinet, and I'll show you how to do it the right way. I'll make sure I bring my clarinet tomorrow. And now, guitar. This works for basses and guitars, okay? So, guitar and bass are both in the key of C. Guitar, we're right here. Bass, you can also be right here, but you should be right here. Now, the same is going to work for both, okay? We have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and B flat backwards. Same thing, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and B flat, okay? Now, like I said before, it's easier on guitar than anything else. Why? Because we have what's called shapes, okay? So, in order for me to better work for the guitar, I know, stop looking at my bald spot. All right, we're gonna move on over a little bit to the other side of the whiteboard. Cool. So here is your E, A, D, and G. We're not going to go into the higher strings just yet, okay? We're just going to keep it simple. All right. In order to play a concert B flat major scale on guitar, you have to know where a B flat is. A B flat is on the 6th fret of the E string, okay? And I'm gonna put 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have our frets. I put face right here because this is the string closest to your face. This is the string closest to the floor. Obviously, on guitar, we have 2 more strings, but you get the point, right? All right, so a B flat is right here. E string, 6th fret. Okay. Next we have, what do you have? Our C. Your C is right here. Oh my gosh. Then we have a D, which is right here. Then a D sharp or E flat, same thing. All right. Then we have a F, which is right there. Oh my goodness, so cool, huh? Then we have a G. And we have what comes next? We have a A and another B flat or A sharp, same thing. There you go. There is our scale for guitar and bass, okay? We only need 3 strings to do the scale. You need your E string closest to your face, your A string, and your D string in order to play the scale. Now, like I said, how shapes, I said the word shapes before, right? This is the shape, okay? Your middle finger is gonna go right here, E6. Pinky, first finger, middle finger, pinky, first finger, ring finger, pinky. Woo! I try to push you guys all the time to not just slide your finger around the fretboard because it's too slow. You could be so much faster if you use the fingers that you have, okay? So, right here, here's your first finger. Middle. Ring finger. Pinky. If you remember that, you'll be able to play the scale easy, and you'll be able to go faster and faster and faster. So, just like it says, E6. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there is where I want to put my what finger? Middle finger. Okay. Holy moly! And it should sound the same on piano. Pretty darn close. I know the guitar's a little out of tune. There you go. Now you just, as long as you keep your hand in this spot and you don't move your fingers, every finger has a fret. Every finger has a fret. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. Every finger has a fret. Okay? Keep your hand in that spot. And then all you have to do is remember the pattern. Middle finger, pinky, first finger, middle finger, pinky, first finger, ring finger, pinky, and you just play the scale. Wow, it's that easy for guitar and bass. Once again, 6th fret, 8th fret, next string, 6th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. Cool? Cool. And now for those of you that have your melodica or you have access to a keyboard or a piano at home, here's a scale on piano. You want to find your B flat key, okay? So for those of you that don't remember, there's an easy way to find the notes on a piano, okay? Look for these 2 groups of keys. Let's call them chopsticks. Why? Because when you use chopsticks, there's 2 of them, 2 sticks, right? Well, look, I got 2 sticks right here. There's another one right here. There's another one right here. Another one over here. Okay, and if you have an actual piano, there'll be a lot more there too. Okay, the first white key that touches the first chopstick black key, right there, is your C. The first white key on the left. There's your C. There's another C. There's another C. There's another C. Now I have all these keys labeled with little stickers. You might not. But in order to find a C super quick, which is what you want to do, look for the chopsticks. The first white key on the left. Bam, right there, there's your C. Okay? There's another way to find another note too. Look for the group of 3. Okay? This is kind of like a fork. Yes, I know a fork has 4 prongs, but some can have 3 prongs. Maybe you have a broken fork. I don't know. Okay? Look for the fork. The first white key that touches that first black key is your F. There's an F. There's an F. There's an F. There's an F. There's a C. There's an F. There's a C. There's an F. There's a C. There's an F. Okay? Once you figure that out, and you have an understanding of the musical ABCs, you can find your B flat key. Okay? Find the fork, and it's the last black key. Right there. There's your B flat. Here's another B flat. Right there. There's another one right here. Or A sharp, okay? But we're gonna say B flat because this is a concert B flat major scale, okay? So, now once you know where the B flat key is, there's only one other black key in the scale, and that is the E flat. Look for your chopsticks, and it's the last chopstick. Oh, right there. Chopsticks, the last one. Chopsticks, last one. Okay? Now start with your B flat. Skip this white key. Go to the next one. Okay? Play the next white key. Now you're on your E flat, so let's go to that E flat right here. Okay? Skip this white key. Go to the F. Then a G. Then an A. Then a B flat. There is your scale. And you go backwards. Don't play this one. Don't play this one. Okay? There's just two white keys that you're skipping. The B and the E. Because we already have them. We have them as flats. Those right there, okay? Now, if you want to play piano the right way, there's a certain way that you have to play this scale. You use every finger. Every finger has a key, almost. But fingers have to be able to jump around, too, okay? Jump around. Jump around. So, start with your B flat. And you see how there's already that, I already have my finger set up where this key is missing. Like my first finger is already on the next note that I'm going to play. Okay, it's not right here. I don't have every finger on every single key. No, because then that would be a chromatic scale, and that's not what we're trying to do. Okay, so put your thumb on the B flat key, and you skip that white key that's next. And you play that next key, your C. Then your middle finger is on D. And your ring finger is on that E flat. Kind of squishy. Your pinky skips that E. You guys can't even see it, can you? My goodness. Okay, well, let's move around then. Okay. B flat, C. Skip that one. D in the middle. E flat right there. Skip this key, because we don't need an E. We need an F. We already have an E. Now, after your pinky, well, oh, Mr. C, I'm out of fingers. What do I do? Well, you're actually supposed to change your fingers a long time ago, and I just didn't tell you. I'm sorry. So, once you play your middle finger, the D, your thumb is going to come under your whole hand and play the next key, which is your E flat. Okay? So, see that? I'll do it again. E flat, C, D with the middle finger, then your thumb comes around. And then you can keep going. Where is it? Ah! Okay, and then how do I go back? Well, now, since you're at your thumb, your fingers want to come over your thumb. Your middle fingers come over your thumb and hit the D key. Okay? So, with the fingers, when you get to the middle finger, when you need to move, your thumb comes under the middle finger, okay? And when you're going down the keys, when you come to the thumb, when you got no more thumbs after that, your middle finger goes over the thumb, okay? Not the other way around. That's weird. Okay, your middle finger will go over your thumb. Your thumb will always go under the middle finger, okay? So here it is a little bit faster. Hey. No, that's wrong. Yeah, I need to practice my piano, huh? Okay. Practice. All right, guys, so check it out. Scales aren't really the best thing to play. They're not fun. They're kind of bland. But scales are one of the most useful tools that you can use as a musician. Trust me. I use them all the time, and I'm glad that I can either figure out my scales or I know my scales. So this is something that you are going to want to know. If you want to be better than the rest, know your scales, practice them. I need to practice my scales more personally. I know I do. I just got to find the time to do it. Been kind of busy, and I understand too. You have stuff going on. You have your work that you need to complete with your teachers. Find time, make time. If you want to be the greatest, if you want to be the very best, like no one ever was, you got to make time to practice. You can't just be like, oh, I can't practice. I want to practice, but I can't. You got to make the time. And like I said it before, 5 minutes of practice is better than nothing at all. It's not the greatest, but it's still practice time. It doesn't matter what you're playing. If you're playing drums or you're playing the flute, find time to practice. Any type of practice will benefit you. It will make you better. So find time to do it. There's gonna be more scales coming, and they're gonna have more sharps or more flats. So knowing this first scale will make everything a little bit easier, because next, the key signature is gonna change. And you're gonna have to know that little trick that we use in class, fat cats go down alley eating beans, and the other way around for the flat side. That will make your life so much easier trying to figure out sharps and trying to figure out flats. Okay? I have a lot of cool plans for us, for you guys, my music students. And the more you work at your instrument, the cooler things we'll be able to do. Especially once school gets back in, we're gonna be having a lot of fun. All right? So, put the work in, and there'll be some cool opportunities for us later. But if you don't find the time to practice, or you choose not to, or you're just not interested, well, then the opportunities are gonna pass away. So, it's up to you to make it happen. I will see you next time.